Democrats, in any case, plan to argue that the bill will actually bring down inflation in the long term. That's all because of provisions to lower healthcare and childcare expenses. But Senate Banking Chairman Sherrod Brown also said in a statement that we know the Build Back Better is the best tool we have to bring down the biggest costs families face: housing, childcare, and healthcare, all while creating good-paying union jobs. So she said that she will work with colleagues to enact the goals of the Build Back Better into law. And the White House will also attempt to woo Manchin in the coming weeks. Manchin gave Biden a $1.8 trillion counteroffer before actually walking away from the table, which could actually form the basis of a future deal. The senator suggested scrapping expanded child tax credit payments and focusing instead on universal pre-K. Manchin has also set two sets of demands that will be especially hard for Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin to meet. So what are your thoughts on Joe Manchin, everybody, and his work on the stimulus checks? Is he the one holding it back? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and many Democrats are all here, and we are ready to see some stimulus payments be approved. So, guys, keep on watching this video to find out the most important stimulus news. Now, if you plan on starting Social Security benefits this year, you could be eligible for this amount. And here's who will be able to claim this level of benefit all in 2022 this year. So, Social Security benefits are based on lifetime earnings, more specifically your earnings during your 35 years that are most profitable in the labor force. Each year there's a limit as to how many or how much income counts for the purpose of calculating Social Security benefits. For instance, in 2021, it's around $142,800. In 2022, it's now $147,000. To be eligible for the maximum Social Security benefit, you're actually going to have earned enough money for 35 years to have met the income cap. Now, if you didn't even have a couple of years where you didn't earn that max, then you may not be able to collect around $4,194 a month. That's all in Social Security in 2022. Now, I know what you think. Claiming Social Security in the near term, if you recently reached a full retirement age, is actually good. But still, that's the age at which you can collect the full monthly benefit that you're eligible for, all based on your earnings. But for each year you hold off on benefits past full retirement age, they will grow by 8%. And that incentive runs out at age 70. But you need to wait until your 70th birthday if you want that maximum benefit. However, just like most seniors, people don't collect the maximum benefit and manage just fine with the income they do receive from Social Security. The 5.9% raise, though, that Social Security recipients coming this year is now the largest in over 40 years. But the raise will barely be enough to offset higher Medicare Part B costs. Medicare Part B premiums, which are deducted directly from most Social Security retirement payments, will rise to around $170 per month, all in 2022. That will take an exceptionally large chunk out of the COLA raise. Now, as economists have pointed out, someone with a $1,000 Social Security benefit in 2021 would have netted around $851 a month after the 2021 Part B premium. Still, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and several House Democrats have actually had their high hopes for Nancy Pelosi to actually secure another term as a speaker. But what do you think about Nancy Pelosi, everybody? Tell me in the comments down below. But political infighting between moderates and progressives compounded, with nearly 24 House Democrats announcing in 2021 that they were not running for re-election. While moderates and progressives have found some common ground on policy issues, Nancy Pelosi has found herself in the middle. The infighting has gotten so bad that it contributed to longtime Texas Democrat to actually retire from the office.
On BBB and what your conversations have been with the White House?
There's been no conversations after I made my statement. I think it's basically, and I was very clear. I feel as strongly today as I did then that the unknown with the COVID, here we are. We can't even go out. I've got a 95 M95. I see all of you do. And so there's different concerns that we have right now that we haven't had for a while. So that's a concern. Inflation's still a concern. It's still over 6%. And the geopolitical unrest that we have, and I think the president's been doing a yeoman's job trying to talk to Putin and calm things down to let him know where we are. So these are all challenges, guys, and this is all expensive challenges. So that's where, Jake, on that there's been no conversation.
Senator, on BBB, on the child tax credit, are you a hard no on ensuring that supporting the
child tax credit is still there, as I'm understanding. Basically,
are you a hard no on ensuring that families with no income tax obligations get the expanded credit? Are you a hard no on that, Senator Manchin?
I've been basically very clear on that. I think there should be a work requirement, and that means you file a 1099. So a 1099, if you're going to call it a credit, you have to see if you have a liability or not. The only way the IRS would know that is you file a 1099. So I've been very direct on that. Hold on. I think
Senator Schumer has said that 27th is the deadline for having a vote on rules changes. Is that enough time in your mind?
You know, we're supposed to have a meeting today. We're supposed to have one right now, and I guess it's been postponed a little bit because people are having a hard time coming in. So I'll be going to a meeting and finding out what that entails and the timelines are talking about.
Senator Manchin.
Are you open to starting negotiations on Build Back Better, though, when you're talking about standard?
You know, I've never turned down talks with anybody. I really haven't. I just I was very clear on where I stand, and I thought it was time to do that rather than just continue on and on as we have for 5.5 months. I didn't change from the first day when I talked to Leader Schumer on that. And everyone's been working, I think, in the best good faith they possibly can. I've just had a very difficult time and understanding where we are and where our country is and the concerns I have.
So for a child tax credit, does it have to have some sort of a work requirement for you to be able to support the broader Build Back Better package?
No, I mean, you know, I've looked at it, talked about all different issues on Build Back Better, but the bottom line, that you're talking about the child tax credit, if you have a credit, that means you've had to have earnings, okay? And have earnings, you can't do that until you decide if you have any liabilities. And if you have liability, you have an offset of a credit. The child tax credit, I understand, we're still in place until 2025, the $2,000. So people think that it's all gone by the wayside. That hasn't happened.
And how flexible is the White House on your views on the child tax credit?
You have to talk to the White House about that.
So given your concerns about inflation, would you prefer that they simply shelve Build Back Better until the next Congress, or just be done with it this year? Is that your preference, that they should shelve Build Back Better altogether?
Well, I mean, we'll have to see what their desires are and what the priorities right now. They feel very strongly about that, and I respect that. I just had a different of opinion, and we don't have, you know, to do some of the things that's been proposed takes more of a majority than what we have. We have no majority. We're 50-50 with one being the vice president making the deciding vote. And I think we have to take that in consideration. We have, you know, our caucus is pretty, goes from one end of the spectrum to the other. And I'm sure they understand that.
Senator, real quick, the Electoral Count Act.
The what now?
The Electoral Count Act. Is that something that you've been talking to Republicans about? And would you support Build Back Better if child tax credit was not included?
I'm really not going to talk about Build Back Better anymore because I think I've been very clear on that. There is no negotiations going on at this time, okay? And there's an awful lot of things that had a lot of things that were very